Let's talk today about one of the best ways to go about improving as a player on Rebirth Island, and this does actually apply to Fortune's Keep as well. I'm going to be totally honest with you here. I think this is one of the most underrated ways to go about improving, and this is something I did a lot on my journey to becoming a 4KD player, which is playing solo duos. And I'll explain exactly why I love solo duos so much in a second. Now, I will always say that the #1 way to improve is to work on your aim and movement, work on your execution. But what about approaching fights? What about repositioning? What about fighting out outnumbered? Let's start with why I love solo duos so much, and then we'll jump into some tips. Now, why do I love solo duos? In my opinion, in any situation where you are fighting outnumbered, solo duo, solo trio, solo quad, the basis of that is a 1v2 situation. If you are in solo trios and you get a kill, and one guy is super close and one guy is super far away, then you are going to challenge that guy immediately, exactly like you would in solo duos. If you're in solo trios and you get a kill, and then you notice that both of those players are stacked close together, you are in another 1v2 situation. So everything for me goes back to a 1v2 situation where learning solo duos will really help you start to fight outnumbered. It's just a matter of managing those different teams. Now, the other thing I will say is you are forced to execute. You really have to execute and become good at aim and movement, using those to your advantage and getting clean kills. Now, before we jump into some tips here, if you are looking to get better at Rebirth and Fortune's Keep, just consider hitting that subscribe button down below. I do videos every single day just helping people improve, get more kills, and increase their KD. And we're going to go in and challenge this guy based on that minimap, which brings up tip #1. You have to use your minimap. You have to learn how to use that to your advantage to really start to understand how to fight outnumber. We're going to challenge this guy right to my right, which if we pull back here, look at the UAV that I have up. So I go ahead, I catch this guy down the hallway, right? Look, bring it back here. So we've got one guy over to my left on the minimap, and we've got two guys further away. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately challenge. Now, with solo duos, you only have to worry about one other person, whereas in trios and quads, we have to worry about more, but you've got to be able to make a quick decision, which we'll talk about in a second here. We're going to talk about when to challenge versus when to reposition. So I'm going to go ahead and push up this way. We're going to catch this guy. We're going to get the team wipe, but notice the second team. Now, we're going to get into a little bit of an unfortunate situation because of this radar jammer. So I noticed that they're above. I'm pretty sure that they're in this little hallway straight back, but they could be on roof. Then I hear the footsteps, so I know that they're right around the corner. The radar jammer takes away the ability for me to use my minimap after I get a kill. So we're going to challenge this guy. Boom, we challenge here. We get the clean kill, so I can immediately challenge this second guy. I go ahead and I center in here. I don't see him, and then I kind of just make a move right here to be able to hit those high damage areas, work on my aim and movement, or I get that kill because of my aim and movement, which allows me to take out that second guy. Another tip that I have for you, kind of tip #2, is do not farm if you are playing solo duos. I talk about farming teams all the time. Do not farm players. Why? Because I want you to handle this like a solo trio situation where the other enemy is very far away. So I want you to kill that second player and force yourself to, take out both enemies. The other thing is the lobby's not going to stay healthy. So you're not going to PR in duos. So at the end of the day, you might as well just wipe as much as possible. So when do we challenge versus when do we reposition? I'm going to go ahead and push up this way, and then we're going to kind of play around a little bit. But when do we challenge versus when do we reposition? Well, you kind of got a few different situations. Well, if you get a clean first kill and you notice that enemy's kind of pushing you, you can immediately go challenge that. You just have to anticipate. You got to be ready for that guy, and you got to continue to execute. Use your aim and movement. Now, if you take damage, then we're going to go ahead and reposition, find a different angle. Now, when we are repositioning, we do have to anticipate with intent. We got to anticipate around corners. I heard this guy, watch this, by the way. And then we're just going to go. Why do I love Combat Scout so much? For this reason right here. Because I see that this guy's going to re-challenge. A lot of people are like, Joe, why would you use Combat Scout in sweaty lobbies? Well, a lot of times, enemies are doing one of two things. And keep in mind, in sweatier lobbies, which this was, things happen very quickly. So I need to know whether this guy's going to reposition or is he going to re-challenge me, which this gives it away. We catch him right there. I can see the re-challenge happening, so then I just go ahead and get the down. Now, where do I see this enemy? Up above me, kind of pushing away. So I'm going to go ahead and reposition. As I'm plating, try to get into a position where I can go ahead and challenge him. So going back to what I was saying, if you get a clean kill, you can immediately challenge. If you take damage, go ahead and reposition. Now, furthermore, in solos, trios, and solo quads, if you get a kill and notice that teams are stacking, you want to go ahead and reposition. Continue to anticipate around corners and anticipate with intent to actually fight. We're going to get this down right here. I notice that the other one's flying in. So as soon as I get that kill, I am checking that mini-map to make my next decision, which you need to make that next decision very quickly. And that's a lot of times how you see these streamers or see me as a player immediately challenge that next enemy coming through a window, and I pre-fire that because of the way he's moving. Now we're going to go ahead and challenge this guy down below. A lot going on, and right here, we're just able to execute a little bit. I've got a solo down here in a second. I was still kind of anticipating multiple players, and then he takes him out. I get caught in a weird spot here. Yeah, and to be honest, what threw me off in this was the reload. I was like, uh-oh, I kind of panicked a little bit, but we are able to get that kill. We've got 9 teams, or 9 other teams here, so the lobby's not super healthy. The lobby's really going to die out here in a minute. So we're going to go ahead and push up, start focusing on the next team around me. Now, keep in mind, you're in solo duos. There can still be a lot of other, I think it's 23 teams or 22 teams if it's a full lobby. So there's a lot of other teams that could be fighting around you. So you do have to worry about those teams as well. And understand that solo duos is difficult. It's not easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and challenge down this way, try to see what I can find. I hear somebody, but I'm not totally sure where. We catch him down below. We're going to go ahead and reposition. We're going to meet him down below. We're going to kind of outthink him a little bit. And I get the live ping again. Notice how much the live ping helps to know that this guy actually jumped out the window. We're going to keep tagging, and eventually I get the team wipe right here. You know, so in that situation, it's just a matter of playing fast. You know, that's not a super... What do I want to say? It's not a true, you know, it's not a solo duo situation, so that doesn't really help with the objective, but you're still forcing yourself to execute. Now we pop UAV, try to fight. Look, just like I said, we're down to 5 teams already. We're down to 5 teams, and it is going to be difficult. You're going to get off to some bad starts. Don't get frustrated. If you are dying, paying attention, start paying attention to why you actually die. As we push up here, we're going to play a little bit patient on the approach. That is definitely a tip that I have for you in when you're fighting outnumbered, especially in solo duos, because what I want is to be able to put myself in a position to get a clean first kill, at which point I'm in the best position possible to immediately challenge that second enemy. Immediately challenge. Now, solo quads is a little bit tougher. I think solo quads is, you know, the mini-map's going to be the most important thing. The mini-map and the repositioning, because you are going to have to find a way to separate an extra enemy, right? In trios, we only have to worry about 2 people. So, you know, in trios, when you get a kill on the first guy, you're essentially dealing with a situation where you just gave away your positioning, right? They just know you're actually there. So you got to reposition, anticipate with intent, still work to get a clean kill. Now this guy's going to go ahead. He's up top. Now I hear him climbing ladder, so I'm going to go ahead and reposition all the way around. Yeah, right here I hear him climbing ladder. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge from the rooftop here. I'm not going to take ladder. There's no point. I think solo duos, you know, why not solo trios? Why not solo quads? Well, in my opinion, guys, those are very, very difficult. I mean, those are very difficult even for the best players. And there are definitely people out there who will say, if you want to get better, play solo quads. I personally think if you drop into solo trios and solo quads and you're not good enough, it's only going to lead to you getting frustrated and hating the game. Now we're going to go ahead and push up this left side. Notice I see him right here, but which way is he pushing? Right? He's pushing back. He's pushing back into the next room. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge around the outside, play this a little bit smarter. I tag him a little bit. We're able to get that down, and we get the team wipe. Now we're down to 3 other teams. So this is I chose this game. I kind of had 2 or 3 games that I could choose from. I chose this game because it was a little bit sweatier, and you really kind of see the execution. I also thought about going with a game that was like a little bit better kill game, but you know, at the end of the day, I want you to focus on these 1v2s, focusing on making sure you get that clean first kill and then immediately challenge that second enemy or work on your decision-making based on the information that you get. And of course, still working on aim and movement. So we're going to go and push over this way. I'm going to get UAV. Of course, one thing that we can definitely work on is popping UAVs. And we're going to end up fighting this. I get caught in a weird spot here. I actually didn't check. I committed to pushing Nova 6 too early because he was below me. I didn't catch him right here. So we're going to go ahead and challenge. We actually tagged this guy really good. Now, when we're in a solo trio situation, right? When we're in a 1v3 situation and we get that clean first kill, we're in the same situation that I'm in right now, right? Other than the fact that he took damage, right? But at the end of the day, we're in a situation where they know where I am. They know exactly where I am. Not only that, they have a UAV up, so I'm going to go ahead and reposition all the way around. I'm going to work on finding a different angle. I want to keep that enemy guessing. I'm going to be anticipating with intent to eventually find a way to get my next kill, and then I'll get information about where the second enemy is. So I'm trying to play a little bit patient, kind of caught in a weird spot because I know they're up top. I know one's on the roof and kind of one's above me. So we're going to catch this guy this way. Notice that we're able to react. We're able to get that down. We're able to get that thirst. Now, where's the next enemy pushing? Okay, well, he's no longer on roof. So I've got to reposition around back. I've got to go ahead and plate up. And I'm going to get caught in a really weird spot right here. I'm going to go ahead and start pushing up. He's going to take some shots at me. Right? So he takes some shots, but then he doesn't challenge. And I get some really bad COD timing right here. I get some really bad COD timing. As I'm going to push through the door, he shoots me again. So let's go ahead. We're going to reposition. We're going to plate up. I hear him shoot. Now I know that he's on my level right below me. So I know he's down below me. I'm going to go ahead and keep challenging. I'm going to keep being unpredictable. Keep him guessing as to where I actually am. Now, right here, I'm trying to see. I see him push up that way. So now we're going to go ahead and challenge. We're going to challenge up top. We're going to set around the corner. Don't see anything. Okay, so where did he go? I hear enemy soldier flying in. Now, right here, I'm getting caught in a weird spot because now the other guy's flying in. They're back together. I'm kind of having to finesse. I've got no extra plates, and I don't really have a ton of information. Now, you got to figure out how to handle these situations. I think this is where we can use solo duos to learn from our mistakes. I'm going to go ahead and precision right here. I see him jump down, so I anticipate inside. We tag him a little bit. I get the live ping again, so we're going to challenge around this way. I get shot, unfortunately. I get the down. I have no extra plates. I'm trying to see what I can find. I catch him right there, so I'm going to go ahead and pre-fire this corner, and once again, just get a little bit of unfortunate COD timing. Now, as we're going to reposition, I have no stims. He's right behind me. He makes a good play, and it is what it is, but we pick up 15 kills. I think it was like a 1.2 something KD lobby, and once again, 4 tips for solo doing are going to be to use your minimap, challenging versus repositioning, which we talked about, anticipate with intent, and in terms of solo duos, do not farm. So I hope you found today's video helpful. Start to put solo duos in your game mode rotation. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.